Okay, and we are back. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the End Zone. Uh, I have my name is James Thompson. I'll be your host for this afternoon show, and I got two great guys in the studio with me here today. I got my main man Reggie. Reggie, welcome to the show. Welcome back. Welcome back, brother. Good to see you. How you been, Reg?
Been great, brother. Ready to rock and roll.
Okay. And then also we got my main man EP. EP, welcome back to the show, brother. How you doing?
Going on. Can't call it. Can't call it.
Can't call it. All right. So as everyone knows, again, I like to start off by thanking everyone for tuning in today. And thank you for following us. Continue to like our show. Continue to follow as we go throughout the weeks. With the end zone, as you know, we started out with football. Now we're moving into the basketball segment of the show, and later on we'll add different type of topics like interviews with different sports personnel and so forth. So just continue to watch us and continue to like us, and we appreciate all the love and support that we get from all of you on a regular basis. All right, so on today's show, we're gonna go right into let's talk about the All Star game. Um, and I'm gonna start with you, EP. Give me your overall thoughts on this year's All Star game. How you felt about the game, the tone of it, if there's anything you would change, so forth. Just give me your overall view on the All Star game.
Well, 200 points is crazy. Like, you can only 200 points. Come on now. No defense is being played at all. It's fun. It's obviously, you like seeing dunks and everything, half court shots, but come on now. Like, don't nobody want to see that. It gets kind of redundant after a while. Nobody's, I'm not expecting him to go hard, but there's no competitive. I don't feel like there's no competitive edge at all. But after halftime, it was kind of like if 4 or 5 players had 30. So
Absolutely,
yeah, I don't want to see that.
absolutely. Yeah, Reggie, what are your thoughts about that, man? How do you feel about the flow of the All Star game and where we're headed with it?
Well, the All Star game has been broke for probably about the last 7 to 10 years. Then I would say probably the last good All Star game was probably uh, Kobe Bryant went after the MVP or something like that. But what needs to happen is if they're not gonna produce and play hard in the third and fourth quarter, they might need to go to like the NFL, go to some skills thing and like that. But people are paying high price tickets to go to the All Star game, and you got people out there, hey, just running up down the court, letting people run. Somebody needs to take charge of it and say, hey, I'm gonna be competitive, and hey, I want to go after you. The old guys say, hey, I'm gonna show you who I am. These young guys, all of them are friends. They cool. Hey, nobody, nobody wants nobody to be mad. Bottom
Yeah,
line, front.
yeah, and I agree. So with that, stay with me, Reggie. I'm gonna ask you this question: do you feel that the All Star game should maybe be played towards the end of the season, like we do in football? Because um, a
Hmm.
couple of topics came up where players are not wanting to play hard because they don't want to get hurt. So could that be a possibility that you think is the reason why we just have players just randomly playing out of character and maybe just keeping the skills competition, 3 point competition, and dunk competition as far as All Star break, but maybe playing the game towards the end of the season? What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's an excuse. That's a cop out. I mean, if the older guys could do it, what's wrong with them? They say we got the NBA is supposed to be the best guys in the world right now. They say they better than when Jordan, when Larry Bird, Magic, and them all of them coming up. So hey, show me. That's why I don't believe what they're saying because they haven't showed me. When it's on the biggest stage, it's time for them to bring out the spotlight on them. They don't do it.
Before I get to you, EP, I'm going to piggyback a little bit off of what Reggie said. I had a conversation with a good friend of mine about that particular topic on the All Star game, which is players reserving themselves You got a player that sat out a week before the All-Star game started, and then when the All-Star game played, they were there. And then all of a sudden you go back, which I think there's a 3 or 4 day break, and you're back sitting out again, which could lead into a whole nother topic about ticket sales and the amount of money we're playing these players. You
Yeah.
know, that's a big, big topic that we had, Reggie, about football, where they signed up for the contract. So if you're in your late 30s, you're making 30 million a year. The agent who helped you get that contract knew you were in your late 30s and going into 40s to get that contract. So I think that you should play your obligation out. You know the strength of schedule, you know the second half of the season. So I think those things came into play all along. So give me your thoughts, EP, on what Reggie talked about. If we should move it towards the end, or you think we should keep it where it is.
I actually like the idea of moving it towards the end. I think you probably get a better, competitiveness out of most some of the players there. But I would say that they still need their break. So we still have to, they play 75 games, almost more than 75 games, 80 or whatever. They got to have a break somewhere in between. That's a lot of games. So if they can somehow get a weekend break somehow and still do it at the end of the season, I feel like we'll probably get a lot more effort. But to counter what you're saying, Reggie, as far as them, not giving their all, some of them just be dog tired. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, that weekend, that weekend.
Man.
That weekend is for that weekend is for rest. That weekend is really for rest.
You making $20 million and you talking about you need some damn rest?
They don't get no incentive for playing that off. So I got
you said they are the best. You said this NBA is better than when Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson there. They didn't whine about it. They did it and went on about their business. Now you tell
I didn't say that.
Break.
I ain't say the league better now than it was then. I ain't say that now.
That's
good question.
They saying on NBA today.
Good question. So Reggie, do you think the league is better now than it was back then, or do you think the league was better back then? And elaborate a little bit on the players. Do you think the players are better caliber players, or what are your thoughts?
I think they have some more skill sets that better. But far as the games were more physical, more competitive, and guys had more heart in the game than that. Now it's about showmanship, getting being friends with each other. Hey, Jordan didn't like the Boston. He didn't like the Detroit. He didn't like nobody. These kids now, they come up in AAU together. They hang out together, and hey, they friends. They don't have that killer instinct. You got to have that killer instinct. Me, when I stepped on the court, I didn't care who it was. If it was my mama, I'm taking you down, mama. That down while you're after the game, mama. We can have kiss and hugs. That's how I grew up.
Well, let me go ahead and give my thought on that, and I'm going to say I agree with Reggie 100%. There's a couple of other things that I would probably add. Loyalty to the franchise. I think a lot of players now, free agency has changed the game, and players are just going from team to team, stacking teams. You got a 3-man team. Back in the day, just about everybody stayed with the same team the length of time that they played. And you had Detroit hating teams in the Eastern Conference. They hated the Celtics. They hated the 76ers. When they came to the West, they hated the Lakers. So it was always good competition. And then the players stayed with the franchise. Whereas now, free agency, every 2 or 3 years, you got players changing over. The money is different.
Yes.
You got players making ultimate amount of money. And that goes into the conversation of when we talked about ticket spending. You got these young fans paying huge hundreds of dollars to see their favorite player, and that player is sitting out. Whereas back in the day, Reggie, Jordan, Magic, your favorite player is going to play every game. Yes. He has to have a significant injury to sit out a game. Whereas now, we're going to rest him for the end of the season. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. When you know coming into the season you're gonna play 82 games, and you should be built for an 82 game season because you're getting paid for an 82 game season. So I agree with you totally 100%, Reggie. EP, talk to me about what you think, if the game is different now or better now than what it was back in the day. And we're talking about 80s, early 90s back in the day.
Obviously, I'll say the defense was a lot better then than now. But the skill set is a lot better now. Now I want to piggyback before I forget my point. You said not being loyal to the franchise. The franchise are not loyal to these players. So if I'm a player, I want to control it. It's a day and age where we start to control the narrative nowadays. So if I know I can't win here, why would I stay here? You tell me if I know y'all would give up me for the next best thing. This franchise gonna move on without me regardless.
Okay, that's true.
So
that's a good point.
We've got it like that nowadays. It's all about controlling the narrative, and I like to see NFL players do that too now. But their money's not as guaranteed. But that's the difference nowadays. You know, you got players like Harden. You know, he's going from team to team, but he's controlling his own narrative.
Like, I mean, but you go back on the money that Harden made. You go back on the money that Harden made, and then I don't think he has a championship.
All right, but listen. All right, boom. All right. What should I start about Harden and this money? So that's like going it like, so he's made the money. Is he not still not worth it? These players, like all these players that are maxing out are worth it. They worth that high dollar. That so you spend that because they worth that they can bring that to your team. So when I say that, so when he had the instance with the Sixers and him not getting his they didn't want to max him out for whatever reason. And they told him after taking a pay cut last year, you tell me I go on to work and I got a salary and I'm going to take a pay cut 1 year and you promise me money for the next year, I'm not going to stay. I'm about to leave. I don't care how much you did, how much I made.
Not to cut you off, but you're explaining me and James' point. If you're making all that money, why are you not playing in the All-Star game? You're making all that money. You just said it. You just said it. So now you telling me, and you're not playing a full game. You're playing less than a regular season game.
There's got to be some type of incentive.
So you can't give me 20 quality minutes, 15 quality minutes. That's BS. That's BS.
And I don't mean to cut you off, EP. I'm gonna get you back. And that player has not, and maybe we're just stuck on Harden. However, that player did not. Yes, that player did not bring me a championship to my team, which we're playing. He still has not gone from Houston, Brooklyn, Philly, and right now at the Clippers. You know, because of his contract, he is the focal point on every team. But every team he's gone to, he's not really been the best player. To be honest with you, he's not the best player on the Clippers right now.
He didn't make every team he was on better. They did farther than they hope.
That's arguable. It's arguable because he had good players around him. He had really all-star players around him on just about every team.
I don't want to make this a hard thing. We'll use that for another day. So
okay.
I have my notes together.
But you know what, EP? You brought up a good point, though. Very good point. And the fact is, back to what me and Reggie said about the money. The money has changed teams. You know, Harden would have stayed with the team that he was drafted with. I don't know if the money was different, and it could be a if, would have type thing. But the money has really changed over the years. Players fought hard to make sure players are getting paid what they're worth because the franchises were making so much money off of these particular players. So I understand both sides, but you understand now, I believe that's where the game has changed. And I believe that's where the loyalty has changed.
And I don't feel like that's an excuse for them not to play hard no All-Star. I'm just saying that's most likely what it is. Like there's no regular incentive for winning the All-Star. It's like you're not getting that out of it's not contributing to your franchise. Our only thing is for, like I said, we want to see it. We want to see a good game. Which
the winners get $100,000.
What's $100,000 these dudes make? What's $100,000? Make it $100 million.
Hey, what's more important? Your name or money?
Yeah, I feel like it should. I feel like it should go back to. Well, I think they played that hard that year because of COVID, that Kobe year, and they play. I forgot what that style of like when you tally up the points quarter by quarter, that had them playing a little bit harder than usual. A little bit harder than usual.
They played hard because Kobe was gonna come out there. Those guys played hard. These guys now don't play hard. Bottom line up front, they don't play hard. They're friends.
You think it's just Kobe? You think that's why they play like this?
Culture. It's their culture.
Well, EP, if you ask me, I'm well represented right now. You see, I got my Kobe shirt on. You see the background. Like first of all, Kobe and I was waiting on my intro for that. Kobe was one of the last players to go in the locker room and tell his team, "I don't give a damn what y'all say. We going in here to win this game. We playing lockdown defense, and I'm showing them who I am, Mamba mentality. We're going in here. I don't care what y'all came here for." And that's the leadership. That's just the type of player he was. And I don't know that it'll ever be that. But before we move on to the next segment, I will say I believe EP is correct on the incentives. I think that the All-Star game should probably be moved to the end of the season. And I think that there should be some type of incentive. And I'll leave that up to our next show. Perhaps we can come up and think on that and pick this back up. But I'm also thinking the fans would want to see, that's something for them to look forward to towards the end of the season, even if a team that they are not really pulling for in the NBA finals, that's giving them some extra basketball towards the end of the season. So that's just a thought. Yes, sir.
One thing, James. So you say you agree with EP to play 82 games. They're going to play 82 games. Now, they play 40-some games, and they say they tired. What makes you think they're going to say after 82 games, they're not going to be tired?
That's why I said I still think there should be a break somewhere in there.
I'm just saying. So that I don't agree, not going to agree. You can't convince me that.
They got a week break. Look at this way. They got a week break at the middle of All-Star season. I mean, the All-Star break. They got a week. Every team, every All-Star player may not make the playoffs. They may not go far in the playoffs.
But still,
they're going to get a break at that point.
And they for sure going to play hard after that.
They're going to come back. They're going to come back. That's bringing some of them players back.
This is what you're saying, James. Okay, so they go. The season ends. My season ends. So the All-Star game is a week late. Am I right?
Right.
Or after the playoffs.
Well, after the playoffs. I don't know how long after the finals. We're talking about after the finals.
Oh no, man! Them guys, man, they in carbo mode. Man, ain't nobody coming back and playing after no play.
No, they do for the they go to
for football.
They go to vacation for football. Yeah, it's like going to vacation.
That's football.
You know, that like All-Star game, like you still bringing stars out at the end of the season. It's still gonna be the same, like to say the same environment. Like having the whole All-Star weekend at the end of the season. Like I ain't think about that, John. That's real good. But yeah, I'm saying even you could even do it before the finals and just exclude the people that's in the finals. Well, I don't know. Some people might not want to do that.
No, that's a toss-up. I think we'd have to think more into that. Reggie brought up a good point. The All-Star because we have so many games, just like baseball. I think that's why they do it midway, because they want to get players a break, and it's a lengthy season. Whereas football, you're only looking at 17 weeks, just regular season. So that's a bit toss up. So we're tossing it around. But let's do this. Let's move on. I want to get you guys' thoughts on the remainder of the season. And let's talk about your top teams coming out of the East and the West. And I'll begin with you, Reggie. Talk to me about who you see, who do you like in the Eastern Conference, and who do you like in the Western Conference, your top teams.
Well, you got Boston on the top of Boston is the number 1 seed right now. then you got Cleveland, then you have Milwaukee, then you have New York. Out of them, I still believe in Giannis and Dame more than I believe in anybody else. They might say, "Oh, well, they ain't got the chemistry right now." I believe Dame at the end, Milwaukee will be coming out that East. Boston, Jason Tatum, to me, he's not a finisher. And Porzingis, you can't count on him. He's soft. Jaylen Brown, he's okay. And Cleveland's just young. And I don't trust the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks, I don't trust them at all.
Mm.
At all.
Mm.
And you got
Mm.
in the
Mm.
West. The West, you got Minnesota that's young, Oklahoma young, Clippers, and Denver. It's gonna come down to Denver and the Clippers. If Kawhi, Paul George, and Harden stay healthy, it's gonna be. I think the Western Conference Finals is gonna come down to the Clippers and Denver. And I'm gonna give the edge to whichever team has the home court advantage. Right now, the Clippers have it. If the Clippers have home court advantage against Denver, they're going to beat Denver because of the bench. Denver got a lot for that bench. That's where I see it right now. So I would say LA Clippers, if they stay healthy, and Milwaukee Bucks right now. That's what I see.
Okay. And I got a question for you after I hear EP's thoughts. EP, talk to me about your top teams in the East and the West.
In the East, I'm not trusting the Bucks. Not right now. And the reason being Dame, they give me Dame is cute, but I feel like they're missing that lack of defense when they had Drew Holiday. And Doc Rivers just put the icing on the cake for them to fail, which I feel like they will again. I feel like if they see the Knicks, they'll probably end up taking the L. That the Knicks are a lot better than what you think. And obviously the Celtics. I think the Celtics can probably get them out of there as well. But yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't trust them at all.
Okay. What about the West?
In the West, I'm go ahead. What you think, Reggie?
Who's your team coming out the East? Who's your team?
I don't want to say it, but I'll say the Celtics. But I wouldn't be surprised if I have a better analysis, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks might come out of there too. Just because they keep every year. If you've been seeing for the past 3 years, you ain't seen these guys playing basketball, man. If you've been watching what they've been doing for the past 3 years, they'll get so close and then end up burning out. So I feel like they done had their share of playoff games. They might just come up out of there.
Okay, so go ahead with your West team, and then I got something for you, Reggie. I got something for you to piggyback on what EP said.
Okay,
Talk to me about your West.
Yeah, my West team is the Clippers for sure. I'm rocking with the Clippers. Like Reggie said, it's gonna be Denver and the Clippers, but the Clippers gonna have to beat the Timberwolves and and the Thunder during these regular season games. They keep coming up short to them, and not even coming up short. They losing bad to them. So I need the Clippers to learn how to. I don't feel like that they can beat the Timberwolves and OKC can beat them in a 7-game series, but they still gonna have to learn how to figure them out because they've been losing to them often during the season. So I would like to see the Clippers, get a couple wins on them, and then from there I'll be for sure confident.
Okay, so both of you brought up some really good points, and I'm going to throw a twist in there. I'm going to talk about being healthy. I'm going to talk about the teams that are built for the last push of the season. And this is going to be a hypothetical question, but out of all the teams that you named, if they lost one player due to injury, would they still be able to sustain that winning competitive edge and go as far as you want them to go? Now go back and look at the teams that you talked about, Reggie, when you talked about Boston with Brown and Tatum not being a finisher. But on the Bucks, you just only talked about Giannis and Dame.
Mm-hmm.
But if one of those players fell off, and from football, I'm a big fan on if you lose one player, can we still win this team? Because we're talking about team. Can we still win this game? So EP, I'm coming to you, but I'm gonna start with Reggie first. Out of
Mhm.
the East and West, if you lost one player because they got maybe two or three good players on each team, and I'll start with the Clippers, Reggie. I think that you're going in the right direction with them because if they lost one of their top three players, the bench is good. They got a
Yeah,
really great coach. They got a really great coach that's going to be able to maneuver around and got a lot of experience, got a championship. So, talk to me about that East and that West team. If one player fell off of either one of those good teams, would somebody move up? Would somebody be able to move up, or you still would ride with the teams that you picked?
if one of the top players fell off any of those 4 teams I named, I mean, that's in their place. Yeah, somebody. But always in my mind, the Miami Heat are always in my mind. The
Ooh,
Miami always there. They play
ooh,
the Miami Heat, so that's always in my mind right there.
I love it.
Everything I'm basing off is health, is healthy. Like I said, if Boston lost one of their players, they're not going nowhere. If Cleveland ain't going nowhere anyway.
I said regardless.
Milwaukee lost one of the guys, they ain't going nowhere. If
Exactly.
the Knicks ain't going nowhere regardless.
Oh,
They been
oh,
watching boys, man. Watch them Knicks.
oh, oh, oh. Okay.
What
Heavy
Hey,
thoughts. Heavy thoughts. Heavy
hey,
thoughts.
can,
I'm just state what my eyes see.
can they make it to the finals?
Huh?
The Eastern Conference Finals.
He
Can
said,
they
"Can the
what?
Knicks make it? Can the Knicks make it to the Eastern Conference Finals?"
Yes, they can make it to the East Conference.
Okay.
Yeah. But a lot's got to fall their way. A lot's got to fall their way. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be depends on what bracket they finish. If they don't finish in the top 4, they got trouble coming on their hand. They need to finish in the top 4. And if Julius Randle don't come back, it's gonna be they definitely gonna fall out the top 4. They definitely gonna fall out the top 4 if he don't come back.
Okay, your thoughts, EP. So talk to me about what I just talked to Reggie about. If a player fell off um, due to injury off of the East or the West, would you still go with the teams that you picked, or do you think somebody else will step up? And I will give you this. Reggie gave us a great example of Miami. Miami has
Mhm.
always been that sleeper team, and he's, I think, dead on with that. So who you got if the teams suffer an injury, would they still be able to sustain?
Yeah, I'm right. I'm right with Reggie on that. Like I said, if I'm on in the East, one player go down, Miami. Nobody's gonna be able to sustain that in the East because I feel like that's what they're going off on the East is superstars. Now Clippers will still be able to sustain because say they lost one person, Westbrook could be moving up into that starting spot. I feel like he's been playing good basketball, but we're not. But we can't even see as much because like everybody's playing so well. So that'll just give Westbrook a chance. But Clippers lose Kawhi, that's gonna be a big hit. That's a
Yeah,
huge.
yeah,
That'll be a difference. Now they might can lose PG, maybe you can lose, maybe you can lose Harden, but you can't lose Kawhi. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'm going to go with. I think the Clippers still have a better chance. I think the Clippers have two to three top players on their team with a lot of playoff experience.
mhm.
They got a great bench. They've played without Kawhi before. They've added Harding. So we're going to give Harden his props now. I think that he can bring some experience and leadership to the team. And then you got Westbrook again, and then you got a great bench. So I think the Clippers' strength on their team says a lot. I look at Denver. I look at the Thunder. I look at you got New Orleans sitting at 5. I don't think they're going to make a push.
Mhm.
But I really think my sleeper team could be Dallas.
Oh,
Oh yeah, man. We forgot about Dallas. Nah,
oh,
Reggie, Dallas playing good ball right now. They
Reggie,
play.
that's just an opinion, but that's just an opinion. I said sleeper team. I said
Yeah,
sleeper
hey,
team, just like
I feel you
Miami.
on
I said
that. I'm
sleeper
with you on that
team.
one, John.
Dallas has gone pretty far the last couple of years, and they've made their team better. than what they've been the last couple of teams. They really got some good additions with the youngsters that they've picked up this past couple of weeks, and I think that they can make some noise. I don't see them coming out of the West, but I think that they can make some noise as teams don't want to see them.
Can they get to the conference final?
I don't see him in the conference finals.
Okay.
I don't see him in the conference finals, and so that's going to lead us. That's going to lead us to this. Who do you have in the conference finals in the East, and then who do you have coming out of the East, and who do you have in your conference finals in the West, and who do you have coming out of the West? And I'll go ahead and start it off. I'm looking at Boston. I would really like to see Boston and New York Knicks coming out of the Eastern Conference with Boston winning that. I really do. And I would like to see the Clippers, and I would like to see Dallas in the finals with the Clippers coming through winning the West Conference Finals. Now, if the Clippers in Boston went to the finals, I got the Clippers. I got the Clippers winning it all. So you two give me your thoughts on the Eastern Conference final matchup, Western Conference final matchup, and who do you see winning it all? And I'll start with you, EP.
Bucks lose in the first round, so they better hope they don't see the Heat again. They better hope they don't see the Heat again, and they better hope they don't see playoff being because they have no answer on defense for him. So I'm gonna start there.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I'm gonna have to put Boston in there. Boston, man, yeah. I'm have to reach your Knicks. Knicks.
Okay, who you got winning it? Who you got winning it? Those two teams went.
Boston come out of there. Boston to come out of there. If the Heat don't get in there, but Boston to come out of there. I'll go Clippers. I think the Clippers will probably end up seeing Denver earlier somehow. I think just the way that how the bracket set up. So they probably end up seeing them in like round 2. But I really want to see like the Clippers and like the Suns. Like hopefully they can get it together, but they ain't been playing too well. I'm not gonna lie, but hopefully I want to. That's what I want to see with the Clippers coming out of there. Clippers beat, like you said, Clippers beat Boston.
Who wins it all?
Clippers.
Okay. Clippers. Now, I before I get to Reggie, nobody mentioned Golden State. I didn't even mention my Lakers. I'm gonna be realistic. You know, I think I got to think with my head and not my heart, Reggie. You hold the applause, but I got to think with my head and not my heart on this one. But nobody mentioned Golden State, and Golden State has been a sleeper team also, but I don't see them getting past. I don't even see them getting past Dallas in a series. I don't
think they're too far. I mean, I think they're too far. I think might be like number 10 seed or so. Like,
Golden State sits at number 10 right now.
Yeah,
so I can't see that. Okay, so talk to me, Reggie. Who you got coming? Western Conference Final, Eastern Conference Finals, and who you see winning it all?
Out the Western Conference, I got Clippers, Nuggets.
Ooh.
Clippers, Nuggets. And I got the Clippers finally going to live up to all them contract money that they've been paying. So finally. And in the East, I got Milwaukee and Boston. And you know what's going to happen? Giannis and Dame going to put a show on and say, hey, we're back. And the Clippers and Milwaukee are going to play. And it's going to come down. And this is, y'all think I'm crazy. It's going to come down to Dame time. Is Dame gonna be able to put that show on like he need to? Giannis gonna come with it. And I'm really right now, I'm leaning toward the Clippers right now. But I don't quote me this. The closer playoff, and I see how Dame playing, I might change my mind. But right now I got the Clippers versus Milwaukee. Clippers beating them.
I think Dame is on a mission. I think
Yeah,
Dame is just as hungry from back when he was in Portland to win a championship. I think he's probably more hungry than any both teams. I
yeah,
think I
yeah.
think he's more hungry. East and the West, out of all the teams, out of all these teams, I think Dame is more hungry to win a championship. He's shown what he could do in the All-Star game. We know Dame. And if Dame stays healthy, Dame
Yes.
is going to make a lot of noise
In that
coming
playoff.
out
The
in the
playoff.
playoffs. Oh, he's
But it's
going to be ready. But and I
it's
think go ahead, EP.
I just feel like that drop off on that other end of the floor on defense is what's gonna be the biggest difference that we're gonna see. He can put up all them shots he want to, but you ain't stopping nobody at the other end. And they probably won't run into nobody that's gonna actually play good defense on them. And like unless they do play like the Bucks or the Heat or I'll even say the Celtics, but they got to play. They don't play good defense. It's not the same.
You're talking about the Bucks. The Bucks don't
The
play
Bucks,
good defense.
No,
You
but
know,
defense right now. But hey, in the playoffs, things shrink.
true.
and then that basket gets smaller too. So if you ain't on Dame time every 5 minutes, every
Oh, wait.
minute.
We know that basket shrink. Ask Jason Tatum and Brown. They know.
Yeah, hey, I'm right there with you on that. Hey.
But I will say this. We all agree with the Clippers.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
that's a great comparison, Reggie, with using Milwaukee. I think I had the Knicks and the Celtics, but I can see your conversation with Milwaukee. And then EP, remind me again, you had Boston
Yeah.
and
And the Knicks
and
like
and the Knicks. Okay, but you got the Celtics probably coming out of the East. You got to
Yeah.
think though, Reggie. The Celtics have been there before. The last couple of years, they've
yeah.
been getting in that second and third round where they got a little bit of experience now. They may not have older players, but they got some experience. I think they got a pretty good coach, and so it's going to be real interesting to see how this plays out. And so that leads me into our last question for the day. All right, fellas, be prepared. Put your seatbelts on. If you had to start a new franchise, what player in the NBA today would you begin to start your franchise around?
Age restrictions.
It it could
Like
be whoever you want. It could be whoever you want. He can come out of the East or West. Just one player that you feel he doesn't have to be the best player in the league. He could just be that player, and you have your reason why he would be that player you would start an NBA franchise around. Who would it be
right now. But
right
they
now?
have to be in the NBA right today.
Yes.
Okay. I got you.
So let's start with EP. EP, out of the players that are playing right now, who would you build a new franchise around? Because I thought I heard talk that Las Vegas is looking at building a team or bringing a team to Vegas. So if Vegas bought a team, uh, and they wanted to, open it up, any player could leave and start this franchise, and you was the GM, who would you bring in to build your franchise around?
That's a tough one, John. Can I get one old one and one new one?
Okay, I'll give you that. Give me one player old and one player new.
Old one, I'm gonna have to go. I want to go hard, but I ain't gonna pander too much. I'm gonna go Kawhi Leonard just because you get that both sides of the ball. You get that two-way player, and
Okay.
So I'm gonna go Kawhi. New player, I'm gonna have to go Luka.
Man.
I want Luka's gonna answer everything I need him to do. Luka is the old heart. It's hard. It's the old heart. The Harden used to do back in the Rockets.
Ooh, okay. Reggie, talk to me, baby. Talk to me. Who you see? You can go old and new, or you could just stick to one.
I'm gonna stick to one. I'm gonna stick to one.
Who you got?
Giannis. That's who I'm going with. Start your franchise around him. That's my franchise around Giannis.
Nobody sees Wemby. Nobody don't think y'all don't think Wemby would be a good person to start the franchise play around?
He's good, but hey, right? You ask my opinion. He would be in my top 5, but he's not number 1. Number 1 is Giannis for me.
What's he gonna do, Giannis, when he needs to go to the free throw line? What about to play hack of Giannis?
What you gonna do when Luka can't get down court?
I ain't seen it often. I ain't seen it.
On the defense man, I ain't
you mean on defense? Yeah. Oh, you mean on defense? Yeah. I thought you meant going down.
I honestly think I would go with Wemby because I just listened to what both of you said, and Wemby brings both blocks. Wemby is young. Wemby is talented on the offensive end, and I think you put players around him. I think that franchise would be awesome.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
That's a good pick. I would go, and we're looking at age. You know, Giannis and both Luka, Giannis, and anybody else we can name has been in the league longer. This guy, in a couple of years, is going to be really, really something special. We saw it with Luka, and we saw it with Giannis. But I think now this guy is the next franchise player. So, listen, guys. You guys have been great. This has been a great show. This is a great way to kick off the second half of the season. I'm really looking forward to the playoffs now. I wish they would start in next week. Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to our next session. I'd like to thank all the people that tuned in to today's show, and thank you for continuing to support us. Continue to follow, continue to like. We'll be back. We'll be back soon. I'll have some more questions. I'd like to thank Reggie. As always, Reggie, man, you just special on the show, man. My main man and my main man, EP. I love having you. And you know, we joked around some weeks back about the age difference. Reggie and I are pretty much the old school. EP is the young cat in the group. But EP thinks like an old soul, man. So I love the competitiveness. I love the spirit that we all have, man. You guys are really, really great. So again, my name is James Thompson. I'm going to sign off for now, but we'll be back with another great show of the End Zone. So you guys stay tuned, and peace out to everybody, and have a good Sunday. See you soon.